What's up, everybody? It's the first time it's cooled down in a little bit, so we're actually going to get some work done today. We picked up a 5.0 out of a 1994 F-150. Dropped the transmission a little bit off the tailgate, and it kind of smashed the tail housing, but that's okay. We don't want that transmission anyways. We're going to tear apart this motor because I took the truck to a dyno night, and a bunch of Mustangs showed up. Everybody was throwing down at least 400 and whatever horsepower. My truck only put out about 210 horsepower and about 260 foot-pounds of torque to the rear wheels, which isn't too bad considering that I think those are pretty close to the specs for just the engine that's in the truck. So we're losing some horsepower and torque through the drivetrain, but I mean, we're putting up really good numbers for what's in it. We got this motor. We're going to tear it apart. We're going to build a stroker motor. I'll throw up that dyno graph. It was just kind of sad to see. So I think I'm going to go with a 331 stroker rather than a 347, specifically for longevity. When you build a 347, the stroke is so great that that wrist pin is really close to the bottom oil ring, and that thin material can cause a lot of failure in the motor. Detonation, you know, just the wrong timing. If you happen to slip something or rev wrong or shift wrong, you can really do some damage to those motors and destroy them. So with a 331, that wrist pin's a little farther away and you have more meat. So yeah, we just need to get this engine torn down. I took a look with my endoscope, borescope, whatever you want to call it, and the cylinders in this motor look really good. I was able to spin it over by hand, but we need to get the heads off and really check and see what's going on with this motor. Let's dive right in. They couldn't figure out why the intake wouldn't come off, and wouldn't you know it, somebody must have broken something. Or maybe they had the wrong bolt. I don't know. They stuck a stupid nut up in there and tried to seal it on. I don't know. This is the stuff you find when you take apart other people's motors. I guess somebody had worked on this at one point. It's looking pretty dirty. I don't know. Alright, we gotta try to get that out of there. Ugh. Well, everything was going so good. Definitely a roller block. These are threaded holes. This would be one of the ones where they give you a roller block, but they put in solid, or not solid, but hydraulic flat tappets. But it's set up and ready to go for roller. All of these cylinders look pristine, with the exception of number 4 over here. It looks like a piece of that piston there just kind of broke off and pushed its way up and down the cylinder a couple times. I don't think I found the piece in there. There's a divot. It's relatively deep in the side of that cylinder wall, and you can see that streak running down. And when I run my finger by it, it's gouged. It's kind of flat right there, and there's another spot over here where that discoloration is. Right over here. Right there. From there to there. Where it feels kind of rough too. That's a relatively deep gouge. I measured the depth of the top of that ring there. It's about 3/100 of an inch. So it's not going to come into the deepest part of the gouge. But I don't know that 15 thousandths, well, 30 thousandths, so 15 for 15 thousandths for the radius off, you know, boring at 30 over. I don't know if that's going to take care of that divot or not. That kind of sucks. We will have to take that to the machine shop and see what they can do. Maybe we can push it to 40 thou over. I don't know how bad that's going to affect it. It's most of it's above the top of that ring, but man, that's going to give issues. We could destroy rings or have a lot of blow by. I can definitely tell you this motor was smoking when it came out.
the guy I bought it from said it was in good shape and didn't have any issues, and yeah, you know, that's the story you get from everybody. But here we go. You know, he also said maybe we'll hit him back up. He also said that if I found anything wrong with the block, to bring it back to him and he'd give me my money back. I think I paid him $400 for the motor and tranny the way they were. So maybe this will be worth getting $400 back. I do not know. Really gonna have to see what the machine shop says on that one. Last time I had something that was like that, water had just kind of sat in the cylinder for years and ate at the sidewalls, and they took 30 thou off and wasn't enough, and they took 40 thou off, and it was almost perfect. But I actually had that old block over here. I don't remember what cylinder it was. Well, anyways, it let loose on one of the rings, and that's what blew that motor. So I don't know if we're gonna trust that or not. Oh man. Well, I think we're kind of done for today. We'll I'll get the rest of it apart, check out the oil, and see what fell in there. Maybe we'll find that piece of that piston, or maybe it flew out the exhaust. Who knows? Get it apart and try to take it over to the machine shop and see what they say about it. If they say it won't work, we'll call the guy back we got the motor from and tell him, hey, you did say that if there was something wrong with the motor you would take it back, and we got in there with the borescope and everything, but when you're looking inside of the spark plug holes, you're seeing this direction, you know, that way, so you can see this side of the wall. You can't really see that side, maybe with a mirror or something. Like I said, we'll see what the machine shop says. And it's gonna be a little while, but we'll get another video out hopefully within another week or two and see what's going on with this. Otherwise, maybe take the motor out of the truck and do a retrofit kit for the lifters. That all gets more expensive. I mean, that's $400 for another motor on Craigslist or Facebook somewhere. So I'd like to keep the motor in the truck the way it is and put it into another project, but we'll see what happens with this. Alright guys, catch you next time. Peace.